actually a funny thing. I don't know if people are aware of it, but JYP was the first CEO of a major company, of a major entertainment company, to wage war against streaming platforms. He blasted Melon, Genie, Mnet back in 20 something. A long time ago. It was still the 2 p.m. days or something. Um, so she he was basically telling people that you are cheating, like you're favoring the acts that are under the company that you are in partnership with, and that you are manipulating the charts, you're not being honest. And and for a time, all of these companies, Melon, Mnet, Genie, refused to work with him. So I don't know if people actually are aware of that, but he blasted them big time. So that was, I remember that because someone was actually complaining about many of ITZY's videos missing, many of the videos of ITZY missing, and then Stray Kids and Twice not getting fair treatment from this broadcast companies. But I just remember that he did this a long time ago. Like he blasted them big time. So this guy, JYP and Bang Shiuk, I'm not surprised that they are friends because they're made from the same mold. So yeah. So if you ever hear about these organizations not treating JYP talents fairly, it's because there is a history between them. They have since kissed and made up, but you know how it is. So, yeah. Just wanted to make you all aware how much of a badass this guy is. These are the three because, and during this time, still wasn't able, he was not making huge moves towards the Western market. Now he's actually making a lot of huge moves in the Western market, and we can talk about that. Okay, so this is the very impressive earnings report for Q2 of 2025 of JYP. So look at this. Their gross profit or gross revenue, it increased 125.5% year on year. So compared to Q2 of 2024, they increased 125.5%. And they credit this to the tour of, primarily to the tour of Stray Kids, because it's a stadium tour. And then even more impressive is their operating profit at 466.3% increase. Imagine that. So from compared to the Q2 of 2024, they increased 466.3%, all because of Stray Kids. And then 36, they had minor tours for other acts, but it's primarily Stray Kids. And then even their net profit went up astronomical to 2,734.4% in net profit. Imagine that. Oh my gosh. So they did really well. However, this is not surprising because JYP has always been very wise in how he manages the company money. So if you look back at their reports, they would usually be in the top two of the highest in terms of percentage. They may not be highest in terms of dollar value, but in terms of percentage, they are always one of the highest. Rarely do they have they ever be. I don't remember a time when they were the lowest. So he has always been very good in making sure that he is maximizing the return. But I think one of the things that this is going to bring JYP is that they will have the money to actually expand and better manage the other artists that they have in their arsenal. Um, so, okay, so that's for their revenue report. 215.8 billion for their revenue, operating profit 52.9 billion, and net profit 36.3 billion. Is Twice JYP2? Yes, but their tour just started. So one of the things that they said, so this is the focused one. This is the focus, so just you can see the numbers very clearly. And then on the side in their profit report, they included where they actually got all the revenue. So one of which is the tour of Stray Kids, the concerts, and then they also had some mini concerts. They also released some albums. Okay, so for example, this is what they said for Stray Kids. Sorry, I said twice, but for Stray Kids, they completed the largest K-pop world tour. Largest meaning more, the most number of stops. So 54 times in 34 different regions. And this is not she's not lying. So the Stray Kids is the group with the most number of stops. 54. So no other group has done 54 stops. So that's what he means when he says biggest. Okay. So they did 13 stadiums across North America, Europe, and then Latin America. And they are planning an encore in South Korea. So whatever end number they have right now, that's probably gonna grow because they're planning on doing a stadium concert. But um, the big news is that for Twice, this coming tour, and I think they're doing this, JYP is actually doing it perfect. So just as the tour of Stray Kids ends, Twice is starting their world tour. So for the next quarter, they will still be covered in terms of revenue because Twice is there. And they are doing all 360 performance venues. So all of their venues will do 360. So they will be able to maximize their venues. You know how they actually cover a certain part of the venue because of the stage. But if you do 360, then you're maximizing the space. So they're doing that for this tour. They're yet to announce where they are going to do their stops in North Korea, in North America, and whatever, but they're doing that. So they are at Q3 now. These are the ones that are gonna go on tour. Day 6, Twice, Stray Kids, Extraordinary Heroes, Nitsu, Next Z, and then and then some of them will go all the way through Q4. And Mix is going to start their tour, or they will have their first major concert in South Korea in Q4. Okay. All right. So just as a summary, so we have 3 out of 4 in terms of the reports. So gross revenue, of course, Hybe is still the highest, 706 billion won, followed by JYP, 215.8 billion won, and then YG, 100.4 billion won. And then their operating profit, 66 billion for Hybe, 52.9 for JYP. They're so close. Imagine that. To Hybe, I mean, and then 11 billion for YG. And then for net profit, it's 16 billion for Hybe, 36.3 billion for JYP. So gross revenue, Hybe is higher, but in terms of net profit, JYP is actually higher, and then YG with 11.2 billion. So if people are asking why is the net profit of Hybe actually so small, they've explained that in their report. Is because they bought some companies, they continue to invest, and they will continue to invest in the next 2 years. Okay, so now we're just waiting for SM Entertainment. Someone was mentioning about Stray Kids. So one unique thing about Stray Kids is that it was actually primarily Bang Chan. Bang Chan has been training for Stray Kids for in JYP for 7 years, I think, or 8 years. He's been training there for a long time. It's the same thing for Twice, Gio, the leader. But for Bang Chan, JYP wanted him. He just didn't know what to do with him. So what he did was actually gave Bang Chan the freedom to choose the members that he wanted. So he chose, I think, several members, and then he actually did a reality show. Um, and but Bang Chan already knew who he wanted. Everyone in that reality show was already chosen by Bang Chan. But from my understanding, based on all the videos that I've watched of them, Bang Chan already had his top two chosen, which is Han. He's considered the oldest son of Bang Chan, and then the other one is Chang Bin. So two producers, and then from the three, so they are known as the three Racha, or the he- wait, Ili Sam Racha. Sriracha. So it's a play on the word sriracha. So and then from there he built the group. So they are the center, and then he built the group around them. But they are the main producers. So a lot of people are saying that, you know, um this is more to the credit of Bangchan than it is to JYP. I guess the one thing we can credit JYP about in terms of the success of Stray Kids is how he actually had the presence of mind, and also just the maturity to allow Bangchan, Han, and Changbin to kind of dictate the career of Stray Kids. This is really odd because JYP is known for really controlling the creative direction of the groups under JYP. So basically, Stray Kids is the first group he wasn't able to fully control, to the point where if he wants to give them a song, he actually needs to ask Bangchan if he likes the song. And if you would remember, in the different interviews of the leader of GOT7, JB, and even Jackson mentioned it. One of the things that they really rebelled against towards the end of their contract was the continuous imposition of JYP to use his songs. At the end, like in the last 2, 3 years of their career, more like 2 years of their career, they started really standing their ground and saying that we want to use the songs composed by JB. So it was for them, this move of JYP to let go is nothing short of monumental, because he doesn't usually do this. He likes controlling the creative direction of the group, but he didn't do it for Stray Kids. And look where Stray Kids is now. So a lot of people are saying, like, you know, this is a sign that probably JYP needs to start letting go of control of the group. I think JYP got that from Bang Shiuk. Maybe. I mean, this too, they themselves said that they constantly talk and that they're very, very close. Maybe he got the idea that, okay, maybe this one group I'm just gonna let loose the same way Bang Shiuk is letting BTS loose or something. Maybe JYP learned from his mistake with GOT7. That's also possible. That's also possible. I know that JB, I watched GOT7, a lot of GOT7 videos, because that's one of the groups that my niece likes. And in one video, there was actually one time when JB was presenting his songs to JYP, and he would usually stop at like three after like 3 lines or first 15 seconds or something like that. He would stop listening and not even listening to the entire track. And there was one time when JB, the leader, was so frustrated about it because he really liked the song. But at that time, that was his attitude. Like, if you don't get me in the first 10 seconds, I'm not even going to pay attention to the rest of the songs. As opposed to, and JYP himself talked about this. He said that that was one of the biggest difference he has with Bang Shiuk. Bang Shiuk would sit through an entire song and see if there's anything there that he liked. And he wouldn't. He would stop in the first. I'm not saying that he's evil, or let's there we have different ways of doing things, right? But this is one of their main differences, is that he said that for Bang Shiuk, he's gonna sit through an entire song and listen to it, but JYP won't. Like, if you don't catch him, if you don't capture him in the first 10 seconds, then it's gone. He's not going to listen to it anymore. But towards the fifth year of GOT7, I think GOT7 themselves were saying, like, you know, we're in that stage where they can actually ask, especially because they were going to renew their contracts and they wanted to stick it out with the compositions and the productions of JB. Are the numbers really real? They are real. It's in their report. Okay, but you could change the beginning. Geez. Yeah, that's why JB was so frustrated. And that, if you go back into the old content of GOT7, they're like, I remember, because when JB was playing him, he had 4 songs, I think, and or 5 or something like that. And so he would listen like in the first 10 seconds of the 3 songs and did not even listen to the last 2 songs. And JB actually played it on camera. It's like, that's a good song. Like, why would you not? Yeah. So, but Okay. What about SM? They have not released their numbers yet for Q2. Once they release, then I will add them to this. Oh, wait. I will add them to this once they release their Q2. I have their estimate. So usually the stock exchange would usually get this the report ahead of the formal release, but I don't want to disclose it until they actually report on it. Okay. I understand. I understand his way as well, although I'd listen to the whole song to change whatever I didn't like. Yeah. And I think even Jackson said that they have immense respect for JYP. So he did express how he is frustrated on the attitude of many fans where they would just automatically blame the entire company if there's something that doesn't work out. And he did explain that there's so many people in a company, right? And some people just do it. He already talked about it. So the I think the point is that they themselves, GOT7 themselves, say that they constantly talk with JYP. They have immense respect for the man, immense love and immense respect for the man. It's just that they decided to take their career somewhere else. But the mere fact that JYP decided to just let Stray Kids loose and control their own narrative and control their own creatives, I hope that he would also learn that and apply that to his other groups.